Howdy everyone, welcome to episode 6 of PopCast. This episode, we were going to be talking about the Fast and Furious and Bad Boys.
We'll be reviewing Noah Baumbach's While We're Young.
Also, we'll be taking a look at the summer of HBO this season.
Alright, sweet. Came out 20 years ago to this weekend, 1995, April of 1995. You saw this in theaters.
I did.
We didn't see it in theaters because I was a year old.
Your parents didn't take you to go watch this?
No. No, they didn't take me to go see the seminal Michael Bay film.
Me either.
Bad Boys. What was your experience like?
Well, for one, I'm a sucker for buddy cop films.
And explosions?
And explosions, and how old was I? I was about 7 years old, so I was excited to see this. Did it live up to your expectations? And
okay. Also, retrospectively, watching it today, how did it pair up? Did it hold up at all?
It was significantly better than now.
I would imagine.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Although, watching it then, it was still kind of boring for a kid. It wasn't exactly Lethal Weapon status buddy cop film.
I can see that.
But, Will Smith, 2 years later he had Independence Day, and you appreciated what he was doing.
And that's kind of when he was really starting to peak as a star. And not peaking, but like when we started talking about Will Smith as a movie star.
Yeah.
So that's really like his rise, Bad Boys, and then Independence Day.
I think that's super interesting, and I love performances like that. You see like the kernel of a movie star, because Will Smith is one of the biggest movie stars of all time.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we can say that looking back, like he was the biggest star of the late '90s.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, blockbuster films were synonymous to Will Smith.
Yeah,
except till 7 pounds.
Oh God. And
wait, do you guys like that movie?
No,
it's terrible. Okay, good, because
chill out.
I know people who will passionately defend that movie, and I stay silent.
No, it's because Will Smith has such a rabid fan base, and he just like stole the heart of America. Like, there's no person on this earth except if you're like some weird racist
that like 7 pounds
that doesn't like Will Smith. He's an amazing actor. He's like so much charisma, but this is one of those roles where next to Martin Lawrence, even next to a guy as charismatic as Martin Lawrence, you can still see.
But what's funny with Bad Boys is that in a way it feels more of a vehicle for Martin Lawrence than Will Smith. Just watching it again, it just kind of feel like he had more focus, more to do than Will Smith in the film. Not like either of them had much to do at all.
Well, I mean, he definitely does. Like, he definitely gets most of the lines, it feels like, which is kind of unfortunate because I feel like he's pretty bad in the film.
Who?
Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess,
it's no Black Knight.
I watched Martin...
No what?
It's no Black Knight.
Or I watched the TV show.
You were the Black Knight.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
And infatuation with that film.
Yeah.
No, but, I mean, maybe his comedy has just aged since then.
I think that's
probably it, because I remember watching his show as a kid and liking it. With just, that entire film, he's just mugging the entire time. And like, he's so over the top, he's like the worst possible comedic sidekick to have, where none of the lines are funny and it's just kind of clunkers after another.
So I think why we're talking about
and
this
film,
just
mug.
Yeah, why we're talking about this film is because it kind of directly correlates to the action films that we're getting today, like Fast and Furious 7, because they're very much over the top. They're very much in like the Lethal Weapon style of action films and like Bad Boys action films. So, I mean, I think like the Tyrese character and like the Ludacris character in the Fast and Furious franchise just nail that character that Martin Lawrence was trying to get at in this film. I think they just bring more to light. They're funnier, and I just think they're given more to do than a character like Martin Lawrence, which is basically the same character. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we can qualitatively agree that the newest Fast and Furious film is a lot better than Bad Boys.
Oh yeah. Like, that's not what we're talking about.
I mean, even in terms of just like dialogue, like the corny one-liners in Fast and Furious 7 are...
But they have a wink to them.
No, yeah. That's
the Fast and Furious films are a little bit more aware of what it's doing than Bad Boys. I think Bad Boys was sort of...
There's a tiny bit of self-awareness.
Yeah, I mean,
you think so? I feel like maybe a tiny bit, but they're also going for all-out action, like hardcore action.
Well, and
not,
I think that's just
not
like,
so much corny.
That goes
lines.
a lot just with Michael Bay, and just like, at least my problems with him as a filmmaker is just he never quite knows how to separate his kind of masculine like obnoxiousness enough to really make those films work the way they should. Because I don't have a problem with the fact. Obviously, you're watching a movie like Bad Boys because you want something that's stupid and fun, but like there's so much of it's like just ugly kind of hyper masculinity that at least.
That's Michael Bay.
No, yeah. And sometimes like the balance works. Like with The Rock, that's a better film. Or even like with Bad Boys.
Anything with The Rock is a better film.
No, you're saying The Rock the movie, which is a significantly better film than Bad Boys.
It's a shame because there are like Bad Boys is like watchable enough like when it kind of just focuses on the action.
DVD.
Yeah.
Watchable enough. That's a rousing endorsement.
Yeah. Well, it is for me. It's for Michael Bay.
It is. Yeah. He's not used to that. He gets that in the he goes on Rotten Tomatoes the next day after Transformers premieres, and they say watchable enough.
Watchable enough.
He goes to his wife and starts crying.
Like,
that means we're gonna.
That's the best review I've had.
We're going to the Oscars.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about Fast and Furious 7. What did you guys think of this movie?
This movie was a blast.
Yeah.
It's amazing the evolution of the Fast and Furious franchise, where I feel like now it's become this hybrid James Bond-ish Fast and Furious film that it's globetrotting international, and they have these gadgets in the car. Cars are souped up in ways that cars aren't normally souped up, and it's this interesting little hybrid film, and they're a lot of fun.
Not little.
And what's fun about the film,
actually big film.
What's fun about the films just in general is just how each one, like, since they are progressively getting more and more popular, you can sense like there's more ambition on their behalf to try and do something crazy and stupid, which is like what this film does in terms of all of the set pieces in this film. Yeah. The like big central ones are just crazy ambitious in terms of like we're gonna throw cars off a plane, we're gonna go 3 stories through through 2 buildings.
Two buildings.
Spoilers.
It's 2 buildings. It's not one like in the trailer.
And then we're gonna have a slightly militaristic drone fight in the middle of LA.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, so I think there might be a little bit of a detriment to this movie is that this franchise in general is like they're always trying to one up themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
Which like I feel like is a little dangerous. You can't really.
Yeah.
Like how could you get more? Okay, so I said this after 5 and I said this after 6, but I'm gonna say it again. Where are they gonna go after this? Like how are they gonna top this?
Yeah.
It's like it's almost close to impossible how they're gonna top this. What do you think?
Well, yeah, to me that goes to what I was saying with the evolution of the films. I feel that they'll find a way to just it's gonna be Fast and Furious 9 in space, and we'll buy into that because that's sort of what they set up. That's what we've come to expect.
And we were talking about it earlier, just like the timeline of the series is just ridiculous in terms of like if you think about. Where the movies are placed chronologically, it doesn't make sense.
Well, it has its own continuity.
But that's what's kind of funny about it. It kind of goes to the series just like silliness and just like winkingness, where it's just like we don't care about reality and
unnecessarily confusing the continuity of these films.
But that's what makes them so great, I think. And they're referencing like parts from 3, and they're talking about parts from 2. So. What do we think that how James Wan did? I
don't think he's as good as Justin Lin. Some of the action was just a little jarring for me and kind of it just made me feel a little uncomfortable. It was a little too close up. But he was ambitious, and he still, like we said, the set pieces were fantastic. He still, was able to keep it light and fun. So it was good enough.
I think he definitely got the tone right.
Right.
For sure, and he knew he kind of followed in Justin Lin's footsteps. He knew what the films were, and I think he was really having a lot of fun with some of these set pieces, and there was a lot of really cool camera movement that he was experimenting with. In terms of the hand-to-hand fight sequences, I do agree with you guys. I think they were a little bit choppy.
Yeah.
But I think we should give him like another film.
No, and I think he definitely does a good enough job where it feels like he knows what he's doing, and it's not a bad film by any means. But yeah, I definitely, in terms of just preference, I definitely think the way Justin Lin shot his action, the way they were constructed, I definitely preferred more than his style, because it was definitely a lot just choppier and just really, the editing was a lot less clear.
And I mean,
Which, I mean, is involved right now.
Lin let you see the action
which
take
was
place
nice.
instead of trying to, put you a little bit closer into the action. And
That's what was nice about, at least I've only seen 6, but that's what's fun. It's just, we're so used to action being so just up close up, tight. And it's nice.
Style.
No, yeah, and it's nice that at least one of these big action franchises is trying to do something a little different.
Yeah. And I do think these movies are doing things differently. And I think that they're actually kind of trendsetters in a way, which is like kind of weird. Like they're innovative in a way that no other franchise really is.
Yeah. Well, if you look back even to the first Fast and the Furious, that was a trendsetter also. I mean, after that, every movie.
But it was Point Break. That's all it was.
No, but after that, they tried doing all kinds of extreme fast cars and sports and rollerblading. Yeah.
Huge early 2000s.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny when that was the thing.
Yeah. It's still a thing.
But not like
it's not still a thing.
Not like it's not cool.
No, false pretense.
No. If you see a guy rollerblading, you're more likely to
trip him.
Wow, I wasn't gonna say that. I wasn't gonna say trip him. I was gonna say make fun of him.
That reminds me like rewatching Zoolander and how Owen Wilson has that dumb scooter, and it's just like, wow, that is not aged well at all.
Yeah,
I mean, it's supposed to be dumb.
Or oh my God, White Man Can't Jump. Woody Harrelson's girlfriend.
Oh, when she's rollerblading
down like Venice Beach.
Yeah.
God, and that was you were supposed to take that seriously. God, that did not age well. But that movie's still great. All right, so let's move on to our next movie, While We're Young, starring Ben Stiller from Zoolander. Speaking of Zoolander.
Naomi Watts.
Yeah, Naomi Watts.
Did not watch this movie.
Adam Driver.
Directed by Noah Baumbach. So a lot of people were excited about this movie. A lot of people were, giving it good reviews. So we were pretty excited about it. Me and Mike saw it yesterday. So what did we think of it? No, you go.
You know what? So it's about Ben Stiller and Naomi Watts are aging couples that, all their friends are having kids. They haven't had any kids. And they run into Adam Driver and
Amanda Seyfried.
Thank you, Amanda Seyfried. And, it sort of rejuvenates their marriage. And they try to live vicariously through these millennial kind of hipster characters. And the first 30 minutes of the movie, I was really enjoying it. I sympathize. I like the story of
the middle-age crisis.
Thank you. Yeah, the middle-age crisis. I like that story, and I was enjoying the film. But it started to get a little generic for me midway through. I didn't like Adam Driver's character. I don't like their take on hipsters. It felt more of a parody, more of a cartoon than actual characters. And then I just feel like it was trying to say a lot without saying anything.
Well, and it sounds really just curmudgeon-y.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, kind of something like with Noah Baumbach, that like there's that kind of just really pessimistic streak in some of his films.
It is, and I feel for the like the millennial generation, it didn't affect me at all. I didn't feel that the characters were sympathetic in that regard, and it just didn't land. I wasn't crazy about it.
I think this movie sucks. I think this movie truly sucks.
That's a long way of going about saying that's just not good.
I think this movie sucks. I think that this movie has a bunch of different ideas, but none of them are interesting. And he goes about exploring these ideas through Ben Stiller's character. So he's kind of the catalyst for all these ideas about technology, about the way we live our lives now, about midlife crisis, about making documentaries, about sex, about drugs. And the film's about all of these, but about none of them. And it's just about this asshole Ben Stiller. Like this character that is just so unlikable and so whiny and so needy. And this film just falls off the rails, I think, at like 10 minutes in.
I mean, I feel that I don't agree that I do like the ideas it was trying to say.
But they're just boring ideas. I
don't think it was boring ideas. I think it just could have been handled better. There's a better movie in there that it could have been. It just. So I didn't think the ideas were boring. I just didn't feel that they were fleshed out. I didn't feel that it was really.
Well, it just sounds like
thought
the
out.
execution was
Yeah.
just pretty terrible.
Yeah,
Which is what's annoying, because I mean, we talked about this earlier, but there's kind of like these trends of these films that want to be kind of social critiques about technology and the internet and social media, and a lot of them seem to fall flat, like Men, Women, and Children.
This feels a lot like that. This feels a lot like Men, Women, and Children did. It feels very preachy, but it feels it has all these ideas, but at the end of the day, it's about these boring people and their boring lives.
Or even like this movie I checked out a year ago called Disconnect with Jason Bateman is kind of like a wannabe Crash, but about the internet, and it's just so pretentious.
Sounds so bad.
No, yeah, but I'm not kidding.
I mean, Crash Enough, I wasn't a fan of that
so
movie,
bad.
so.
Yeah, but like literally, that's how that movie is structured. It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, the last 30 minutes of this movie are baffling.
Am
I correct?
I would say the last act, you think it's going somewhere, you think the movie's going somewhere, and then the last act, it just takes turns that it shouldn't have, and gets really preachy and, baffling. It's just like...
You spend 30 minutes on this documentary part of the storyline where Ben Stiller's character is trying to make a documentary, and so is Adam Driver, and then kind of Ben Stiller takes him under his wing and, teaches him a lot about making films. And then we find out all this really weird stuff about Adam Driver's character and what he's done to make these documentaries, but you don't really care about that stuff because you want to get back to like the marriage or them trying to have a baby. And then the whole climax of the film is about the documentary and about this weird kind of Minority Report moment to go expose him at like a ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels a lot like that, but it just feels so false and feels so
Well, and not to mention, then you do all of that, and by the end of the movie, it doesn't even conclude that story. It doesn't even wrap up that story at all.
Oh God.
And if I have to see another Ayatollah drug scene for midlife crisis, I will walk out of the theater.
Also, people have been saying this movie is funny. This movie is not funny.
It started off funny. It started funny.
They're chuckles. We never were,
No, but
I was sitting next to you. You weren't laughing that hard.
No, but it chuckles. Yeah, it started funnier than where it ended, and got really serious at the end, and tonally it was all over the place.
But it was trying to make. They were going for jokes. Like jokes were being thrown at you, but you didn't even notice because you're like, oh, that was supposed to be. That was a joke. Oh, never mind. That was stupid. Yeah. All right, so we just didn't like this movie. I don't think I would recommend this movie to anybody. I think this
What'd
is
you
a waste
think?
of time.
Well, I don't want to watch this movie anymore.
There you go.
I've been surprised just because there's been so much good critical response to it, but you guys just harsh reviews have made me think about it.
I think it just didn't. Maybe if we were older, we would appreciate it more. I don't know if that's the case.
I don't want to see in the comments that you didn't get it. I got it. The movie doesn't get it. That's who doesn't get it.
How many comments do we get?
A lot.
Do we really?
Yeah.
Oh, I should go check it out.
Hundreds.
Yeah. Are you messing with me? Oh, okay. I was about to check it out.
All right.
Yeah, comment.
Yeah, we'll be back. Okay, we're back. Let's talk about the summer that's about to happen with HBO. Veep, Game of Thrones, True Detective, Silicon Valley. What are those two?
Brink and Ballers.
Brink and Ballers.
Wait, what are these two shows?
Brink and Ballers.
Brink and Ballers. The trailer came out last night. It's The Rock for Ballers and Jack Black for Brink, yeah?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah. They're not joking around.
Yeah. So this season
HBO's never been joking around.
No, well, yeah, that's true.
This summer season is probably the most press any television network has ever gotten, probably. Like, right? They have so many popular shows running this summer.
Well, Game of Thrones alone. Game of Thrones alone.
Yeah.
Takes the taco as far as popularity.
Well, yeah, Game of Thrones is a phenomenon.
Yeah. It just gets bigger and bigger each season.
But then on top of that, True Detective. And then on top of that, Veep, and then Silicon Valley, which are two, like, Silicon Valley and True Detective were two huge hits their first season. And now they actually get to come back with the huge viewing audience that is attractive from Game of Thrones, from Veep. I don't know if Veep actually has many views. I mean, good ratings, but
fourth season though, it's been lasting.
No, and I think it's honestly the best comedy on TV right now.
Easily.
The writing is just so sharp, and it's on a level that's just, it's the perfect mix of just writing and just like improvisation.
Yeah.
Well, and then now we have these 2 shows that were just announced, Ballers and Brink. The Rock is at the height of his game, and he's going to be in an HBO show.
Yeah.
And then you got Jack Black.
I just can't see that being good. I just can't see a show called Ballers being good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's good, but
is there like a trailer or anything?
Yeah. The trailer
Is
came
it
out
like
yesterday.
a comedy?
Yeah. Here's the clip.
You ready? Let's go.
Looking for a guy who could set the edge for you?
Spence.
She's still dreaming about laying people out?
Hold up, this the game that chose us.
Right now, my dreams are all about deals and dollars. I'm your financial manager, and I will put your money to work.
You're gorgeous.
You're the second guy who's hit on me today. Is it the Axe body spray? Tell me.
Deep down inside, you a straight hustle like the rest.
Anderson Financial. Get rich, get laid, have fun.
Put that on the letterhead.
Okay.
All right. I digress. Game of Thrones. What do we think is going to happen this season? And
Well, that's not a good question to ask me.
Not for you, Mike. Where do you think these characters are going to be headed this season? Do you think that they left these characters off in an interesting place last season? Who are you looking forward to seeing? Who are you not looking forward to seeing?
I'm looking forward to see Jorah.
Jorah, our boy.
Right there, right behind us.
Yeah.
I have a good feeling that he might run into Tyrion. I'm not sure about this.
Who told you that?
This guy right here. This guy right here ruined it for me. Spoiler alert.
I actually don't know if that's true though.
No, I'm actually excited for Tyrion.
Yeah.
He's rocking the beard. He looks awesome.
That's a big beard. I'm jealous.
I'm excited to see him and Varys and see where they go.
Well, no Bran this season.
Thank God.
That is filler. That is filler. We do not need.
No Three-Eyed Crow.
Yeah, but I was interested in that, and then they left it off in the most interesting place.
Yeah.
Yeah, after so many seasons, how often have you said Bran is? You're interested to see where Bran is going.
You see Bran's episode last night? Like nobody said that.
No.
Yeah. But I think probably the thing that's most exciting to me is seeing characters that were sidelined last season. So I feel like Jaime was sidelined last season. I feel like the Tyrells were sidelined last season, like Marjorie and Lady Olenna, which are my 3 favorite characters. All of them, probably, and Varys I think was sidelined last season as well. I'm excited to see if they bring them back in a big way, because season 3 for Jaime was probably the best season ever for a character on television.
Yeah.
For it was just that arc is unmatched. It will never probably.
Well, and speaking of that, what I think is really exciting to see in the show is just who they're gonna place the main emphasis and focus on in the season, because that's been the most fun each season. Is that they usually, Tyrion is usually the central protagonist in some shape or form.
And Khaleesi.
Yeah, but it's nice when they use a season to spotlight a character that hasn't played as much a big role, like season 2 with Theon, season 3 with Jaime, and then last season with Oberyn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hope, and also another thing, I hope that they can, one of these new actors, when they go to Dorne, one of these new actors can kind of take the
capture
place of
what Oberyn did.
Yeah, capture the audience's attention like Oberyn did.
I'm excited for Brienne.
Yeah.
Just because she's been one of those characters that has been building up, and now I kind of don't know where she's gonna be heading without any kind of purpose. I don't know. She got close to Arya and then lost her chance to get her. Now I don't know what to expect from her.
And what I think is exciting just to see where the show's going is just, there's been a lot of this concern from like just the online community about George R.R. Martin not finishing the books on time. Mm-hmm. But in some ways that really excites me even more, because I feel like we're at the point, and the writers have been even suggesting this, that they're not really playing by the books anymore in terms of just they're going to follow whatever creative path they think is best. And I think that's the right decision.
He gave him his blessing.
No, yeah. And I feel like there's so many people that just, and I understand, obviously, the books are great. You're adapting this great series of novels, but they're there too in their own separate things. And
well, this one diverges from the novels even more, I hear.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and even how last season ended was kind of a big diversion.
Yeah. I wanted to talk more about Brienne, but I feel like now it's a total detraction.
You had a chance.
I had my chance. All right, so yeah, this season of HBO is gonna be unbelievable. I couldn't be more excited for True Detective.
Yeah, we barely even talked about the trailer.
We should probably talk about the trailer.
Yeah.
What do we think of the trailer?
Looks awesome. It's what we.
I mean,
it's
the
what I
song.
want. It's what I want.
The only thing I've been talking about is the song. I think the song is one of the best songs ever created in the history.
Yeah, you have been.
Time. Not really, but it's actually really amazing, and they made it just for the show, and they're not releasing who it is. They're not releasing who wrote it, and they're not releasing where they're going to be using it in the show. Is it like the main theme? Like
it has to be the opening credits. I see it as opening credits.
Well, and then, and it's Justin Lin directing the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. Everything comes together, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all about Fast and Furious.
I'm a little nervous about
This is part of the
Colin Farrell.
timeline.
I'm a little nervous about Colin Farrell's character. He looks very Russ Cole, but
I mean, I feel that the writers are competent enough to know not to, make him too similar to Russ Cole. He'll be the loose cannon, but I mean, he won't be the nihilistic Russ Cole.
But I told you this, I think it was yesterday. I was talking about his book Galveston, Nick Pizzolatto's book Galveston, and the protagonist of that book is pretty much Russ Cole, and he does the beer can,
the Lone
thing.
Star.
Yeah, he does, and he like cuts out the humans
Yeah.
in the book actually. So it's like he has this certain attachment to this like.
Well, no, yeah, and obviously, I mean, we're gonna see how it turns out, but I mean, it's funny. I'm skeptical just because the first season was and it's already kind of an iconic thing, and people already treat the first season as kind of this landmark in kind of TV.
Yeah.
So I mean, I am nervous just in the sense that the second season seems like, tonally speaking, it's going to be very similar, at least in some aspects. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Like, I mean, I feel like this happens a lot. Like, I mean, with something like Better Call Saul, I think everyone was somewhat skeptical about it, or just like nervous. And 1 season in, and it's one of the best shows on TV.
But I think there needs to be some kind of organic connection between both seasons. That's how I feel. So I like that you kind of get that same tonal sensation, watching that trailer.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it felt like
sense.
True Detective.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we're excited for everything that HBO has to be doing this summer, and also other networks. All the movies coming out. Avengers is getting early reviews.
Mad Men is ending.
Yeah.
Daredevil just started on Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, we're lucky to be.
Oh yeah. PopCast is gonna be really good the next couple of weeks.
We're gonna
get a lot of views.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Views. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Like and subscribe. Also follow us on Twitter at PopCastToPaul. Also reach out to us on Facebook at PopCastToPaul.
Listen to the radio show.
Listen to the radio show at radio.topal.edu. Anything else?
Go to the movies.
Mike's face is gonna be right here, and then we're gonna be a little bit meta and bring him into the shot. And all right, we'll see you guys later.